Please start the recorder and we can get moving.
Thank you. Today is June 10th, 2021, and this is the 688th regular Arizona Racing Commission meeting taking place via Google Meet. I'm Commission Secretary Cassie Goodwin. I will proceed with the roll call. Commissioner Coolidge.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Garay.
Present.
Commissioner Olson.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum, and for the record, it began at 10 a.m. Mr. Garay, it's your floor.
All right, thank you. I'd like to call to order the 688th regular Arizona Racing Commission meeting. Today is June 10th, 2021, and it is now currently 10:01. First item up for action is Executive Session B. The following item is for executive session purposes only. Sims versus Arizona Racing Commission. I do not know if we need an executive session for this. I don't even know if our attorney is present. Not seeing our attorney present. I don't think I don't need it.
I'm sorry. Ms. Alarcon did come in, and she did request that we have the executive session on this, so just heads up.
All right. I would like to make a motion to go into executive session on item B1, Sims versus Arizona Racing Commission.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please call roll.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Having a motion and a second to go into executive session, Commissioner Coolidge.
Yes.
Commissioner Garay.
Yes.
Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. We are taking a recess at 10:02 a.m. to go into executive session. Recorder.
Okay, please go ahead. Start the recorder.
Thank you. This is the second open session of the 688th regular Racing Commission meeting taking place June 10th, 2021. The time is 10:16 a.m. This is Commission Secretary Cassie Goodwin. I'll do the roll call. Commissioner Coolidge.
Present.
Commissioner Garay.
Here.
Commissioner Olson.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. We are reconvened.
All right. The next, at this point in time, I'd like to make a motion to instruct our counsel to proceed as instructed in executive session. Second.
Thank you. I have a motion to proceed as instructed in executive session by Vice Chair Garay and seconded by Chair Coolidge. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Garay?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to C, action items. C1, request from Arizona Downs LLC for approved live race dates and dark days simulcast for 2021 race season. I believe Mr. Mike Weiss has signed up to speak. Mike, are you with us?
Yes, sir, I am here.
All right, the floor is yours, sir.
Just wanted approval for the rest of the meet. For the permit, we're requesting the approval. So far, the meet has started out very well. Do you want a little bit of the report right now to tell you where we stand and what's going on, or do you want me to wait until our 3 minutes later?
You can wait till you're signed up under your information report.
Okay. So at this point, I'm just putting a request in for the approval of the live dates to go through the September 15th date and the dark day simulcast to continue the 2021 race season.
All right. Appreciate it. Mr. Arthur, did you need to speak on this? And Mike, could you mute yourself?
The only thing I would add is that we have been working closely with the division with respect to our permit applications, and we believe we're ready to go to approve the balance of the meet, which is another, I think, approximately 22 days left. To the extent there's any questions by the division or by you folks, feel free to ask Mike or me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments, questions from fellow commissioners regarding this item? I do have one, but I'd let the other two go first. Nothing from me, Rory. Okay. Only thing. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Olson.
I'll let you ask your question first, and I'll go after.
Okay. The only thing I have, and it's not really just pertaining to this item, it's pertaining to everything. We still have things that are outstanding. The signal from Monarch. Our players are getting tired of being locked out. The One Network discussion. The 60-mile issue. I mean, me personally, I'm just getting kind of tired of this trickeration, and I think we're forgetting who makes our business. And I think there's items we need to start addressing before we even look at approving dates, approving OTBs. I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at this point in time. And I will shut my mouth up now.
Mr. Vice Chair, I agree with where you're coming from on that. Obviously we still have a job to do on the OTB request end. However, in my opinion, if the permittees spent as much time as they do picking on each other as coming up with a creative solution to keep the networks rolling and possibly find some sort of integration point with Monarch, I think everyone in the horse racing community would tend to see an increase and be able to build out this sport better than what it is. But I agree with where you're coming from.
Yep. Thank you. Right. Is there any other discussions regarding this item? If not, go ahead, Ms. Olson.
I'd like to make a motion to enter executive session.
Second. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call roll.
Thank you. Motion made by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Chair Coolidge to go into executive session. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Garay?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Thank you. The time is 10:21. This open session is recessed for an executive session. Third open session. Good morning. This is the third open session of the June 10th, 2021 688th Regular Arizona Racing Commission meeting. Time is 10:30 a.m. I'll do the roll call for quorum purposes. Commissioner Coolidge?
Present.
Commissioner Garay?
Present.
Commissioner Olson?
Present.
Thank you. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. We are still on item C1, request for Arizona Downs LLC approval for live race dates and dark days. At this point in time, I would like to call on Director Casillas to give us any input updates from the department recommendations regarding this item.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chairman. The division's position on this matter regarding Arizona Downs temporary permit is that Arizona Downs has been very cooperative with the division here with this permit renewal. They have submitted all documentation as requested. There's several things that are still outstanding. However, Arizona Downs is complying with all requests and following through as requested. So as a result, with their additional support from Peninsula Pacific, the division recommends to the commission that conditional approval be granted to Arizona Downs to complete the race meet through September 30th as the division continues to conduct a background investigation for overall suitability.
Thank you, Director. Yes. Thank you. Is there any questions, other comments?
Commissioner Garay, this is Kelly Wagner. I don't know if the commission also wants to inquire of other permittees or other stakeholders in the matter, including the HBPA.
I was going there next. I was just first making sure. Make sure no one had any other questions. Hearing none, do we have a representative from the HBPA?
Yes, Co-Chair Leroy Gussman with the HBPA.
Yes.
I just want to say that so far everything has been going great up here, and the meet has been a success to this point. We did complete setting up the trust account for Arizona Downs. They did put $1.7 million plus into the trust account this past week, and so purses are good, and the handle's been up extremely from 2019. So we're excited to finish the meet, and we would ask that you approve it.
All right, thank you, Leroy.
Yeah. Mr. Vice Chair, I would move to conditionally approve Arizona Downs to complete their race meet through September 30th as the department continues to work the paperwork on their end.
And I would second that, and along with that, I would also like to thank Arizona Downs. I think it was a couple of meetings ago where we told you to take action and be on top of the ball. It seems like you have. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Having a motion to conditionally approve to allow Arizona Downs to continue the meet through the September 30th date, made by Chair Coolidge and seconded by Vice Chair Garay. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Garay?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
That motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next item is C2, request from TP Racing LLP for approval of live race dates and dark days simulcast. Have Mr. Vince Francia signed up. Vince, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vice Chair Garay. Before you is the request for the 2021-2022 dates. It's a 106-day meet beginning November the 5th, which is the first day of Breeders' Cup, and concluding on the Kentucky Derby May the 7th. It's a 106-day meet, which is 22 days more than the meet we just concluded. Any questions that the Commission might have, I'm willing to answer them.
Have you had discussions with the HBPA on these dates yet, or is this just kind of still in discussion? I don't know if this is settled dates or we're still in discussion mode.
The dates we have discussed with the HBPA, as we always do. The next thing to follow is if we gain the approval of the Commission, then we sit down with the HBPA and we come up with an agreement for that particular meet. That's what we've done in the past sessions, and that seems to work out well.
Okay. Is there any questions, comments from fellow commissioners for Mr. Francia?
No, sir.
Okay. Hearing none, I'd like to ask Director Casillas if he can give us the departments or divisions' views and recommendations regarding this item.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chairman. The division does not have any concerns with the approval of the race dates at this point.
I have a question for you. Have you received a permit application?
Yes, ma'am, we have.
And can you tell me what the status of that application is?
The status is in temporary status. It's being investigated. We're having the financials done by an outside auditing firm, and we're doing internal investigation also.
And what is the department's recommendation for this action item?
That it be approved.
Does it need to be conditionally approved since you're still in reviewing the application for the permit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions for Mr. Casillas?
None for me.
Okay. Is HBPA Leroy still here? Just want to hear from you guys on your thoughts.
Yes, Co-Chair. Leroy Gusman with the HBPA. Mr. Hutton was unable to be on this morning, but he wanted me to mention that we have not had any discussions yet with Turf Paradise on a contract for this meet. And since the requested dates is not 155 days, we have not agreed to anything less than 155 days at this point.
Mr. Francia, I forgot to write it down. How many dates did you guys have in your approval or in your recommendation for the dates?
106 days, Commissioner.
106.
Correct. November the 5th through May the 7th, 2022.
What is the impact if, because obviously I'm starting to think there may need to be some discussion with the horsemen regarding this. What is the impact if we hold off on this? Because I would like to see the agreement between you guys and the horsemen in place.
Well, we did discuss these dates with the HBPA. We don't submit things prior to having discussions with them. Mr. Gessman is right. By the statute, we are bound to 156 days unless otherwise agreed to by the parties, in this case the HBPA and Turf Paradise, which has always been done. But when we initiate a meet, that is a request for days, we do go over them with the HBPA. This is a 4-day-a-week meet, which is something the HBPA has always brought to my attention they would like to have. But in terms of the agreement, the race dates came first, and then we sit with the HBPA, in this case Mr. Hutton and Mr. Gessman, and come up with an agreement to govern that specific meet.
All right, and I do believe if there were changes to the dates, if we were to approve these dates and that you guys came through your agreement with some changes, that would just be a matter of coming back before us to request a change in the dates, correct?
That's correct, Commissioner. That's how it would work.
Yes. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions, comments regarding this item?
Mr. Vice Chair, I would move that we conditionally approve Turf Paradise to complete their 2021 to 2022 race meet as the department continues to work on the paperwork on their end, as well as a confirmed HBPA agreement.
I will second that, and I just want to say it's a privilege to second a motion where for looks like finally year-round racing, where we have Arizona Downs with dates and turf with dates.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Thank you. Having a motion made by Chair Coolidge to conditionally approve the Turf Paradise to continue their meet in 2021 to 2022 and conditional to confirm the HBPA agreement, and seconded by Vice Chair Coolidge. I'll do the roll call. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Garay?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item C3, request from Arizona Downs for off-track betting facilities. I don't know if, Rudy, did you have any update on this? I've been hearing conflicting stories on this, whether we needed to move forward with these items or not.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair, I do have an update. Apparently, we received yesterday from the City of Phoenix licensing clerk information that stated that they do not just openly transfer a license from one party to another. That the complete application has to be submitted to them. It has to go before the City Council and get approved, regardless of whether it's the same facility or not. So technically, these two matters have to be tabled. They don't have the correct approvals to proceed.
All right, thank you. So I didn't hear wrong. Is there any other questions, comments for the director from fellow commissioners?
Mr. Vice Chair, I would suggest we move to item C4.
All right, Kelly, do we need to make a motion to table these two items?
Just for clarity, I believe that would be an appropriate thing.
Okay. At this point in time, I would make a motion to table items 3A, Mr. Haney's Castaway Sports Bar OTB request, and 3B, Padre Murphy Sports Bar OTB request.
Second.
Thank you. Having a motion made by Vice Chair Garay and seconded by Commissioner Olson to table items 3A and 3B, Castaways and Padre Murphy's OTB request. I'll do the roll. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Garay?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Mr. Arthur, I see you have raised your hand. I will give you the floor.
Thank you, Co-Chair Gorey and Commissioners. We're in receipt of that email also. We think first of all, it's a little bit confounded because they're saying permits to conduct racing meetings are deemed personal in nature and non-transferable. This isn't a racing meeting. This is the OTB. And at the end, it says, if the state requires new license applications for Arizona Downs at these locations, Phoenix City Council approval for OTB permits specific to Arizona Downs would be required. We have an additional email from the licensing department that says, we recommend contacting the Arizona Department of Gaming regarding this situation. If that agency determines that a new license or recommendation from local governing body is required, then the application would need to be filed with our office. So, I mean, it's really, in our opinion, the state policy. And if that's the state's policy that we need to go back to the city, then we'll do it. But it's not, that policy was not enacted when our location in Fountain Hills transferred to Turf Paradise. And, again, we just, so, again, if it's the state policy, that's fine. But the people getting hurt here are the horsemen and the operators. Our suggestion, if possible, would be, can we do it like you do with a liquor license? Which, while we're making our applications to the city, the operator can continue to operate, and that way he doesn't get hurt. The horseman's purse account doesn't get hurt. And in the extremely unlikely event that we do not get approved, then I guess it doesn't go forward. But I hate to punish the horsemen and the operators because we followed what seemed to be the precedent of the Fountain Hills situation. Anyway, that's really all I have to say, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if you guys had any.
Thank you for your thoughts, Mr. Author. I understand where you're coming from and would recommend in future agendas to make sure that you're listed on these to be able to speak on these matters before we move forward on them. Furthermore, I would direct your comments and concerns to the department. Director Casillas, how do you feel about that? And maybe even Kelly, I would appreciate your thoughts on the legality of the document between the City of Phoenix and the department.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I understand Mr. Author's position on this matter. However, the protocol is that any time that an OTB changes hands, whether it's new ownership of the bar, restaurant, or permittee taking over the OTB, proper application has to be completed and proper approvals have to be obtained. What the Arizona Downs was attempting to do was to use the City of Phoenix's approval of Turf Paradise, and all the paperwork was in the name of Turf Paradise, which was issued to Dave Johnson and Turf, and that is just inappropriate. They need to follow the proper procedures and go through all the process to get the proper approvals to continue.
Sir, can I make a comment, please? I'm Larry Delaney, the owner of Padre Murphy's.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Just so you know, we've been speaking with the Phoenix Commission. We have been approved, myself and my ownership partner, as OTB licensees. It seems to me that license should not be a barrier to allowing me to make who my choice is for my OTB provider. I'm a licensee. What the Commission is proposing right now basically is to take away my choice, having been approved by the City of Phoenix for being a licensed OTB facility and for having the Racing Commission's approval too. this seems to me to be a very, very unfair restriction of my choice as a businessman, and as Mr. Author said, will also hurt other parties involved. So we've done everything that we possibly can. We've worked with Arizona Downs. We've had a great relationship with Turf Paradise, but the fact is that we have been told that there was no obstacle to our being approved by the Racing Commission today to exercise our freedom of choice as a business, to be able to select a different OTB operator to go in a different direction. That would seem to handcuff us very, very unfairly now.
I would just like to ask, who told you that there would be no problem with the commission? Because as far as I know, up until just a few minutes ago, the commission had not even had a vote on this.
Well, I had corresponded, left emails and messages with the secretary over there, and she said that through a representative that she would call me back if there were any problems in our from the city of Phoenix. And this was a week ago, and I checked in every day up to that and still heard no response, and therefore was told that no news is good news from the city of Phoenix, that we've been operating under that assumption under their direction for the last week and a half. So I'm confused because we're licensed OTB operators, and this to me seems to really be a restraint of trade to allow us to choose who are, since we're licensed OTB operators.
The restraint of trade.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions, comments for Mr. Delaney from the fellow commissioners before I move on to Dave Johnson, who's raised his hand?
No, I would appreciate further input if there is any from the department, from the owner's questions there.
Rudy?
I understand what was just said. However, I don't think that we're preventing the owner of the OTB, the bar, to have a freedom of choice. It's a matter of getting the proper approvals in place before moving forward. It's no different than recognizing and understanding that simulcasts coming in from outside jurisdictions, we need approvals for those before they're authorized. It's just a matter of protocol, and I think we have to continue to follow protocols.
Sir, I'm sorry.
This is Kelly Wagner. I just saw that Chuck Coolidge left the meeting.
Oh.
I'm back.
Rudy, Chuck, how much did you hear you need to have Rudy
I missed 3 seconds of it, but I know what he was saying, and thank you, Director. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So just to update everyone, too, we just gained ownership of Padre Murphy's last November 8th. Okay, so Turf Paradise's agreement was with the prior owner, To Do Inc. So we obtained our license, but we never had a formal agreement with Turf Paradise. We let the current one expire and would let Turf Paradise know about that. However, with the city of Phoenix, our status as an OTB operator, since we never had a contract, is brand new. Our slate is clean, sir. There's no change at all, except for our choice to go with a different OTB vendor. We had that permit by the commissioner, by the city of Phoenix, where there's no way we could have been operating as an OTB. So all this is basically is a new owner of one of your establishments, OTB establishments, opting to have a new contract, using with the same status that we had as a temporary owner, but with the license, but to move forward. I don't see, since we had no contract with Turf Paradise, this is the owners, and we're fully authorized to do this, sir.
Mr. Johnson?
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you so much. I might be able to shed a little light on this. The City of Phoenix does issue their permits for off-track betting sites, and they are site-specific, and they are also permittee-specific. If you look at the licenses we obtained from the City of Phoenix, they are they show Turf Paradise and Dave Johnson as permittee and agent. But just to kind of clear some of this up, those licenses for Castaways and Padre Murphy's for through the city of Phoenix, they've been canceled. So those licenses don't even exist anymore. So it's not as if there's even a license that they're operating.
Excuse me. Do you mean a license or a permit?
Gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. We've already made a motion, and the motion has passed. Mr. Vice Chair, please move to item C4. You're on mute, Mr. Vice Chair.
I'll learn one of these years. Item C4, simulcast agreements pursuant to ARS 5-112U, Arizona Downs and All-American Reduso Downs. Rudy, is there any recommendations or from the department regarding this item?
Yes, Stacy Aramayo is going to provide that detail, please.
Okay.
Good morning. I'm speaking on behalf of Juan Carlos. This is Stacy Aramayo, the Pure Mutual Auditor. We reviewed the contract for the imports from Redoso, and everything is in order.
All right. Well, thank you.
Mr. Johnson, do you have a question, or can you put your hand down, please?
I think I just cleared it.
Sorry, Mr. Vice Chair, go ahead.
No. All right. Any questions, comments from fellow commissioners regarding item 4A1? If not, I will go to Mr. Arthur, who wanted to speak regarding this item.
Right. No, we don't need to speak. It was only if there was any problems with the paperwork. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. At this point in time, I'd make a motion to approve simulcast agreement pursuant to ARS 5-114U, Arizona Downs and All-American Reduso Downs.
Second.
Thank you. Having a motion by Vice Chair Garay to approve All-American Reduso rounds and seconded by Chair Coolidge. I'll do the roll. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Garay?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Thank you. That carries. That's approved.
All right. Thank you. Next item is C5, simulcast horse racing import signals pursuant to IHA Section 3004A3. I believe, Stacy, you're staying on to give us an update on this one as well? Or is that off to Rudy?
Go ahead, Stacy.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is, we've reviewed the contract, and import from Redoso is everything is in order.
Perfect.
I have a quick question, if that's all right. It appears that the New Mexico Racing Commission approval wasn't final. Do we have an update on that?
Could you repeat that question? I think you were looking for. We did not see the New Mexico Racing Commission approval in there. Stacey, did you have an update if we finally received that?
Yeah, there's a conditional letter is what appears in the packet.
I'm going to ask Rudy to step in, please.
My understanding was that we did receive the approval from New Mexico We had communicated with HBPA here and asked if they would have any objection to moving forward without the HBPA from New Mexico's approval, and they were adamant that they would not be happy with moving forward, and ultimately New Mexico did send an approval for the simulcast.
Okay. I'm just going to follow up on that. So we do have an approval?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Guessman has raised his hand, sir.
Just quick clarify that approval. I see we have the New Mexico Horsemen's Association approval, but just to clarify Chair Coolidge's question, we also have an approval from the New Mexico Racing Commission.
My understanding is that we do.
If I may,
Stacy, I believe that Juan provided you that detail before he left.
Do we have a raised hand, Mr. Vice Chair?
Yeah, I've not seen one. Cassie, who's?
It's Mr. Guessman, and if I may, yes, that approval came in after the commission package went out, and unfortunately, Mr. Estrada is out on leave right now, and Ms. Armayo is stepping in to assist, and he had informed her, and we have seen the documentation come in. We just did not send it over to you. My apologies on that, but we do have all the verifications and approvals in hand.
Thank you so much for the clarification.
I'm sorry to beat this dead horse, but it is not a conditional approval, correct?
No, sir. This is for a final approval. Because we have all the documents in. The only thing that was on hold was the approval of the contract, which you folks just voted on and approved.
If you would please share that with the commission, just so we have a paper trail of it after the meeting, I would be appreciated.
Certainly, I can do that.
All right. Mr. Guessman?
Yes, co-commissioner and commissioners. I just wanted to say that everything has been approved with the New Mexico horsemen and the Arizona horsemen, and I believe all their contract has been approved with the commission. So I think everything is in order now. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you. Any other comments, questions from fellow commissioners regarding this item? Hearing none, I would make a motion to approve simulcast horse racing import signal pursuant to IHA Section 3004A3, Arizona Downs, and Reduso. Anticipated dates 5/28/2021 and 9/6/2021.
Second.
Thank you. Having a motion by Vice Chair Gray to approve the meet for Ruidoso for Arizona Downs, and a second by Chair Coolidge. I'll run the roll call. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries, and I'll get that paperwork out to you shortly.
All right, thank you. Moving on to information reports. D1, track safety reports. Juan Estrada, I believe he's not here today, so who is Stacy giving that, or?
No, I believe Gary Bays will be doing that, and he is in the meeting, sir.
All right, Gary, welcome. Good to see you.
Good morning, Vice Chair Gray. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you can, sir.
All right, my name's Gary Bays. I'm one of the Arizona State Stewards. Juan Estrada has asked me to fill in to give the safety report this month. This is going to be a short report. The Racing Division regulators have moved to Arizona Downs for their racing season. I have not toured the barn area yet, but according to our state identifier Clay Ivy and our state veterinarian Dr. Susan Gale, the barn area is in good condition. We have not been made aware of any issues. The grandstand is in good condition. The staff at Arizona Downs has done an excellent job keeping everything clean. The racetrack rails are in good shape. The jockeys had a concern with the evenness of the track condition the second day, June 2nd. However, trackman Vic Oliver met with them and remedied the situation and addressed their concerns, and there were no complaints the second weekend of racing. Last Monday, I met with head outrider Cynthia George, Jockeys Guild rep Michael Ibarra, and Cesar Arroyo, who is the operation manager of Central Arizona Medical Responders, LLC, which is the ambulance company serving the racetrack during morning training and racing hours. Procedures were discussed when accidents happen on the racetrack to make sure everybody was on the same page. And that is the safety report for this month.
Very good job, and it was good to hear about the jockey's concern and that the track addressed that immediately. Much appreciated to all involved in taking care of that. Any questions for Gary from my fellow commissioners regarding this item? All right, hearing none, we will move on to item B2, budget reports. Director Casillas or Jason, I don't know which one of you is giving this report today.
I'm here, Chairman, Commissioners.
There you are.
Meeting, I was planning on giving you an update of the new financial resources available that have been passed in the annual budget. Unfortunately, there's some hiccups down at the legislature this year, so there is no budget at this time. But we could kick that down to the next meeting. Once we have a finalized budget, I'll give a overview of what's changed, what's new, and what's different.
All right. I do have a question. I guess it's the worst case scenario. What happens if they do not get a budget passed by the required time? Are we still able to operate, or do we have to shut down?
Those are questions that we're looking into right now. We don't have a definitive answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any questions, comments from fellow commissioners regarding the budget report? Hearing none, I don't know if for item D3 if Daryl is with us today or not.
Yes, I am.
Hey, good to hear you, Daryl. Sorry I missed your call earlier. I was in a meeting with my real job.
Good morning, Vice Chair Gorey and members of the commission. It's good to be on the call, so thanks for inviting me.
I was just hoping that maybe you could give us a little update from the Jockeys Guild perspective of, are we doing everything we can for concussion protocols, or do you think we need to be better, or just your input, because I fully respect the men and women that get up on those horses and ride.
Well, thank you. That's appreciated. Well, as far as the concussions go throughout the country, we're trying to implement concussion protocols, and there's a lot to it. But as you see how important it is that riders go out there and on the right, as far as healthy and the right frame of mind, because we know what's happened in the past. Riders just want to go out there and they think they're okay and ride. But we do have, the Jockeys Guild has concussion protocols that we put together. We send it to the ARCI, the regulators, and I can get it to you all, of course. And, our intention is to work close with racetracks to try to get this implemented. And it just takes, qualified medical personnel on the racetrack and just administering, whether it's the baseline and the physicals, everything goes hand in hand. So now that the COVID, it seems to be getting under control, I'd like to work with the racetracks there in Arizona, management, to try to see if we can get this done, and as we know how important it is.
Definitely, I agree with you, and if you could, I would love to see the recommendations from the Jockeys Guild regarding this item, and then would just encourage the department and our permittees to work with you guys on see what we can do just to make sure we're being as safe as possible. I mean, we did a great job with COVID, and I think this is another item for our men and women that are getting up there on the horses that we need to do a good job making sure we look after them. Because like I said, they want to ride, and sometimes they're going to go out there when maybe they shouldn't, and then sometimes we just have to look out for each other.
Absolutely.
All right. Any questions? Thank you. Any questions, comments from fellow commissioners for Daryl regarding this item?
No, sir. I couldn't agree more.
All right. Thank you. All right. We'll move on to D4, monthly track maintenance report from permittees. Director Casillas.
I'll go ahead and let the permittee go ahead and speak on that.
Well, I thought this was the report we were going to be getting from the department, or was it supposed not the individual permittees?
No, that report, track maintenance, is not in place as of yet. We're still working on formulating the form itself for all the appropriate data. But Mr. Garcia does have an update for you as to what they have done to the track for the summertime.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and hear from him now.
Might need to unmute your microphone, please.
Vice Chair Gorey, did you wish to hear from Turf Paradise? Is that?
No, I think we were hearing from somebody from Arizona Downs currently.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we up here?
Mr. Weiss, go ahead and give us a little report on the track safety or maintenance.
Well, track maintenance has been, actually we're having some really great reviews from the horsemen. The satisfaction seems to be high. I have plenty of positive comments both from outriders, jockeys, and horsemen about the racing surface. We did have, 4,000 tons of sand added. We have closed the track every Sunday, and we've been bringing a huge piece of machinery in to do rock picking and sifting. We've taken a lot out, and I think that was the concern that one day when the inside was a little deep, but Vic Oliver did a fantastic job addressing it, and we're really pleased with the way the surface is right now.
All right, thank you. And I would just mention that everything I've heard from people has been positive to your track safety up there or your track surface. So good job. Good job.
And, we've been diligent. We added a third outrider with a mile racetrack. This way we have all the gaps covered. And in a system with our head outrider, Cynthia, and our medical services, we really implemented a really nice safety protocol. And Daryl, I'll invite you to come out anytime, and we can get together as we have in the past and see what we can implement to help the riders and with your concussion protocols also.
All right. Any questions, comments for Mike before I move on to Mr. Francia to hear from the summer turf? All right. Thank you, Mike. Mr. Francia, do you have an update on the track maintenance, summer track maintenance there at Turf Paradise?
The thing I'd like to report, Commissioner, is, as you know, we're in the dark period. The main track is sealed, so our attention turns towards the turf course. And all the prep work that we put in over the past 6 weeks has yielded fruit. The Bermuda grass is up, which is what we want, because that stays with us until opening day. That's the only thing we really have active right now in regards to the two racing surfaces.
All right, thank you. Any comments, questions for Mr. Francia from fellow commissioners? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to D5 committee reports. American Greyhound Racing. I do not. I know he was here earlier. Aaron, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair, sorry, I was on mute. Members of the Commission, we have no update this month. Thank you.
And I was on mute, so thank you. Arizona Downs.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, this is Mike Wallace representing Arizona Downs again. We do have 4 live days under our belt. Really pleased the meet just started out very well. As for handle, despite the fact that I have to let you know we did have some glitches from service providers that were out of our control, including losing the export signal for a good part of the card on Tuesday when the Roberts dish had some issues. But over our first 4 days, we're probably up, or we are up approximately $1 million over the last season for the first 4 days. We've continued to be very active in the community. We've sponsored the Teacher of the Year dinner. We've had the mayor out with a party. We've done multiple media events. Prescott Times Media had a business event here on Tuesday with a lot of local leaders, and it just seems the public perception that Arizona Downs is back is truly exciting and creating quite a stir. I'm finding that the locals are loving this. I mean, this is a new area for me. There's a lot of retirees and tourists, and the attendance on Tuesday and Wednesday was beyond my expectations. Our dining room was sold out on Tuesday also. I mentioned the horseman's satisfaction seems to be high, having great rapport, staying very much in touch with Mr. Gessman. And, of course, as I always do, I throw my little student blurb out. But if you watch the TV export, we've got a great show with co-host Aaron Veracruz, who was on HRTV and TVG and has his own radio show. And he is working and mentoring a U of A racetrack industry program student, Giselle Lugo. She is official as an intern with us and here for credit. And she's not only being our little TV hostess, but she's working in the racing office taking entries. She's putting the actual program together, the entire layout of the program, and all around being completely involved in learning in every single capacity. She has a goal to excel in equine law and regulation, and I believe in her a lot already. Thank you. Any questions?
You need to unmute.
Well, there I go. Yeah, there I go, being on mute again. I did have a question, or not a question, a request. I love reading the overnights and looking them over, so I was wondering if you might be able to get the overnight sent to the Racing Commission Secretary so they could be forwarded to the commissioners.
If that's my toughest request for the day, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on to item BC, County Fairs. Do we have any representative from the County Fairs? Mr. Arthur, you had your hand up. Did you need to speak regarding Arizona Downs?
Well, I just wanted to point out that I was signed up to speak on 3B and later. I just have another question, but I'll wait till the end. I don't want to slow you guys down.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing no one from County Fairs, we'll move on to Rito Park. Jay or anyone here from there?
Mike Weiss here for Rito Park. There's really no update to give you at the moment. Jay is working on getting the permit in, and hopefully he will have something for you to discuss at the next meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Tucson Greyhound Park.
Alicia indicated they have nothing to report.
All right, thank you. Turf Paradise.
So that the meeting continue expeditiously, nothing to report unless the commission has questions.
Any questions for Turf Paradise? All right. Hearing none, we'll move on to item D6, Optional Industry Stakeholder Association update. Arizona Counties Racing Association. Do not see anyone. Arizona Quarter Horse Racing Association.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Lloyd Yeltsin with the Arizona Quarter Racing Association. I'd just like to remind everyone that we are a mixed meet in Arizona Racing, and quarter horses are part of the racing card and meet. We'd like to be bigger and better, but we're working on those things, meaning that we kind of get the short end of the stick and acknowledgement and whatnot. But anyway, being said, that you may hear more of as we go forward with commission meetings, I'd just like to keep us in the forefront of we're part of the operation and would like to continue to be a big part of it. So with that all being said, as previously heard or stated, I'd like to commend Arizona Downs and the staff for an excellent job. I was up there before the meet opened, and things were extremely nice, and I was up there on opening day, and they were nice, and I'd like to invite everyone to come out and see the facility and participate. And that's all I have to report at this time. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Lloyd. Arizona Thoroughbred Breeders Association. All right. Hearing none. HBPA.
Yes, Commissioner Leroy Guessman with the HBPA. I just wanted to say kind of what Lloyd said. Everything here at the meet has been going very well. Nobody really has a whole lot to complain about, which is unusual, which makes my job easy. I just want to say that Mike Weiss has been doing a great job. Other than the problem we've had with Roberts, I think this thing has gone very well. One other thing I wanted to bring up, I just wanted the commission to be aware of. The horsemen and the staff, right before COVID, for about 6 months, spent a lot of hours and time going through rules and rewriting rules and fixing rules that were outdated. And then the COVID came, and that thing kind of got dropped to the wayside. And I just kind of wanted to know where the status of that was, and if we could get back on track with that and get some of these rules changed and be brought up to the 21st century. Anyway, that's all I have, unless you have any other questions.
Thank you, Leroy. I have none. Any questions, comments from commissioners regarding that item?
No, sir. Leroy, I'd be happy to touch base with you offline as well if you want to talk through some of those items.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Jockeys Guild.
This is Daryl here, Western Regional Manager. I'd like to just echo what Leroy said. I'm glad that Arizona Racing is going in the right direction. These hardworking trainers and backstretch personnel, they've really been through a lot the last couple of years, and they've stuck together, and it just makes me happy that things are going in the right direction. And my hat goes off to Mike Weiss for promoting racing the way he has and continues. And I'm just looking forward to working with Bob and Leroy and Lloyd and the horsemen to make things continue safer and healthier for Arizona racing, and working with the management, of course, keep moving forward. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Any questions, comments for Daryl regarding Jockeys Guild? All right, hearing none, we will move on to item E, Commission reports. Number 1, summary of current events affecting the Arizona Racing Commission. Mr. Director, is there anything you need to provide on this item?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chairman. I just want to inform the Commission that I have reached out through our legislative liaison to contact the boards and commissions for commissioner replacements, and we've made that request. We're crossing our fingers that we'll get some new commissioners appointed sometime soon. Additionally, I want to inform the Commission that we just completed interviews yesterday for the Racing Enforcement Manager position, and we hope to have someone selected by next week, and hopefully somebody in position within the next couple weeks. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. All right, next one is item E, Commission reports, identification of matters to be placed on future agendas. I'm just going to bring up is I do think we need to eventually get back to some discussion or look into the Monarch signal that's still just sitting out there, and the One Network discussion. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I think the 60-mile issue is going to need to be brought up again and discussed.
Mr. Vice Chair, may I address that matter?
Yes.
I have I've been in communication with Arizona Downs and Paradise, and I intend to host a meeting to open the doors for communication regarding the single network. I know this has been a challenging process, and we're going to go ahead and get back together, have further discussions on this matter, and see if we can come to any terms of agreement between the parties.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I appreciate your leadership on this. If myself or any of the other commissioners can be involved or help in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you. And best of luck on that. We'll be cheering for you. All right, the next one is call to the public, and I did not see anyone actually signed up for call to the public, but I know Mr. Arthur has raised his hand, and Mike has also raised his hand, which I think is, I don't know which Mike that was, but I will go with Mr. Arthur first.
Thank you, Co-Chair. I just, quick question. What does tabling mean? Does that mean we don't revisit this until the next commission meeting? And secondly, what we've done in the past is given the director the discretion, if the city, if we work something out with the city with respect to these OTBs, say in the next week or so, do we have to wait until the meeting in July, really penalizing these OTB operators? And again, so I just wondered if that's possible. Again, operating as we did under the assumption that it was going to be treated the same way as the Fountain Hills deal was treated, but it wasn't. So, which is your decision. So I'm not going to argue with that. But again, can we grant the director the discretion, if we show up with approval from the city, to approve those OTB transfers?
Well, I think we have moved on from that item. We've tabled it. I think if you get that information and you get it to the director, I think the director could reach out under his discretion to the chair to decide if there would be a special meeting or not.
Okay, but tabling means kicked it down to next month, absent some other accommodation.
Yes. Okay, correct.
Commissioners, this is Kelly Wagner. I would just caution, this is the call of the public, so it really isn't supposed to be the commission answering questions from individuals. So I would ask that the commission limit responses and the folks addressing the commission limit their speaking to what they want to address with the commission, not asking questions.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
I understand. Sorry.
All right. No, there was a mic with their hands up, and I...
Yes, thank you. And I'm the public, so thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. I mean, I don't...
I'm sorry, excuse me, for the record, I need to have your full name, Mike. So
okay, it's Michael Senor, last name S-E-N-O-R.
I'm sorry, your last name again?
Senor, S-E-N-O-R.
Thank you.
Okay, and I just want to... Again, I'm just a concerned horse player. I've been listening to you guys. I started listening to these conversations months ago, honestly, due to the monarch dispute. I know, we've got nowhere on that. And there's just some things I want to bring up. Basically, as you know, Arizona, first of all, is the only state in the nation that only allows AEW betting over the phone. As I'm sure most of you are aware, the sports betting bill that has passed is going to change that. In September, everybody's going to be able to bet mobile, and everybody's going to be able to do this stuff online, and that includes with the horses. This monarch dispute, if it continues, I don't envy your position. Once the sports thing explodes, as I'm sure you know it will in September, you're going to have a lot more people that are a lot more upset, about this monarch thing. And to me, everybody here talks about OTBs and tracking. Think about it. He had record handles over the past year, and that's what the only going OTBs or tracks. Where's that all coming from? It's coming from online wagering. That is where the future is. Everybody in their home is going to be able to do this from their phone or computer. And finally, Arizona is going to be like every other state that offers this and be able to do it online in September. And I just hope we get all these rules, all these archaic rules, and all this crap taken care of so that the customers can use the product and everybody can make money. Right now, I can bet on Monarch on offsite. Nobody makes money but me if I win in that offsite betting. Everybody's getting hurt by this. And I just don't understand why it's being dragged out, and no one's doing anything about it. I mean, like I said, I just think we forget where this is going. You get stuck in the past, but think about the future, guys. Think about in September, this explodes with everybody being able to do this. And I do have one other question outside of that. Lone Star Track, we used to be able to bet on, and now we can't. Can anybody here tell me why?
Unfortunately, since this is called to the public, we can't address that now.
Okay. Well, I thought I'd ask.
Sir, I would suggest you reach out to the department as a whole for that specific question.
Okay. All right. Well, I was hoping that you could answer it. Thank you for your time. Like I said, I don't want to be your physician, but I just want to know, you guys are aware in September what happened. So I'm not telling people that don't know this, right?
We are very aware. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Is there anyone else with their hands raised?
No, sir, not that I see.
All right. Good.
Anyone go to the gym?
Can you mute your phone? Hey, Daryl?
Actually, Commissioner Gray, I thought I saw a hand raised by a J.D. Fox.
I'm looking at the thing and I don't see him listed with his hand up, but he has spoken in the past, so if he's available, Mr. Fox, would you like to address the commission?
Yes, I'll just be brief with this and save the previous gentleman time. That Lone Star is a Monarch signal now. They changed providers, so it's not addressing the commission, but that's just for the record to be helpful.
Thank you. Oh, now I see it says J.D. Fox has raised his hand. It's a little late. All right, if there's no one else with their hands raised, we will go to item G, announcements. The next regular scheduled meeting will be 10 a.m. on Thursday, July 8th, 2021 at 1110 West Washington Street, Phoenix, Arizona, but most likely it'll be right here in the same electronic form. With that, I would entertain a motion for an adjournment.
So moved.
I'll second that. Madam Secretary?
Thank you. With a motion made by Chair Coolidge and seconded by Vice Chair Garay to adjourn, roll call. Commissioner Coolidge?
Yes.
Commissioner Garay?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson? Thank you. It's 11:30 a.m. and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.